Have you ever wondered how much power a single nation can command just by selling oil? Imagine earning $1 billion US every single day. That's not a fantasy. It's Saudi Arabia's reality, and it's what fuels the kingdom's golden palaces, fleets of private jets, and mega projects that are changing the map of the Middle East. But what if we told you that beneath all that glittering wealth lies a truth far more complex and far more secretive? Welcome back to our channel. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video from us. Every day, Saudi Arabia's vast oil reserves pump unimaginable wealth into the royal family's hands. Cities like Riyadh and Jeddah shine under the Arabian sun, thanks to the river of oil money flowing beneath the desert. But while the world sees skyscrapers, fountains, and marble halls, what they don't see is the buried secret that keeps this machine running. It's not just about selling energy, it's about selling an image. From high-profile donations to global aid campaigns, the kingdom presents itself as generous, forward-thinking, and modern. Yet many experts argue that all of this is a carefully crafted illusion meant to distract from the empire's deeper motives. So, the question is, what's real and what's just gold-plated theater? Stay with us, because what comes next may challenge everything you thought you knew about one of the richest royal families on earth. Part of that dazzling image is Saudi Arabia's bold push for women's rights. The headlines are impressive. Women now drive, work, and attend universities. Between 2016 and 2022, the percentage of Saudi women in the workforce nearly doubled, from just 19% to 36%. It sounds like progress, and in many ways, it is. Young women in Saudi Arabia today have more choices and visibility than ever before. But look closer, and a more complicated reality emerges. Behind the headlines is a legal and cultural system still tightly controlled by male guardianship, where freedom depends heavily on family approval and government discretion. A woman's social media post or act of protest can still land her behind bars, even without trial. Some critics argue that this so-called reform is less about liberation and more about rebranding. The Saudi leadership, especially Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, MBS, knows how to use global optics to full effect. By showing the world images of empowered women in boardrooms and car showrooms, the regime crafts a story of modernization. But beneath the surface, traditional restrictions remain firmly in place. So, is this true reform, or a calculated illusion meant to impress foreign eyes while preserving control at home? Alongside the image of women's empowerment, Saudi Arabia has launched one of the world's most expensive green campaigns. The kingdom proudly showcases massive investments in renewable energy, like a 6-kilometer solar farm with over 1 million panels and 3 giant wind farms generating hundreds of megawatts. The message is clear. Saudi Arabia wants to be seen as a leader in clean energy and environmental responsibility. But not everyone is convinced. While solar panels glisten in the desert and wind turbines spin with precision, Saudi Arabia remains one of the largest oil exporters on Earth. Critics call this strategy greenwashing, a way to polish the country's reputation without changing its core dependence on fossil fuels, and the numbers back it up. In August 2024, oil export revenues dropped to $17.4 billion, their lowest point since mid-2021. That decline has triggered a projected $27 billion budget deficit for 2025. Instead of reducing oil output, the kingdom plans to borrow and find alternative funding to continue its ambitious mega projects. It's a bold gamble, one that could either secure a prosperous future or expose the fragile foundation beneath its golden ambitions. At the center of Saudi Arabia's vast empire of oil, gold, and green ambition stands one man, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, MBS. Since rising to power in 2015, MBS has transformed from the youngest defense minister in the world into the most powerful figure in the kingdom. By 2022, he held the title of Prime Minister, consolidating nearly every branch of government under his direct control. And with that control came an empire worth an estimated $1.4 trillion. This is not just a royal family, it's a global financial powerhouse. The lifeblood of this empire is Saudi Aramco, the state-owned oil giant and the most valuable company in the world. When Aramco was nationalized in 1980, every barrel of oil became a direct income stream to the House of Saud. But MBS took it a step further. In 2019, he orchestrated a partial IPO, unlocking billions in capital for global investments through the Public Investment Fund, PIF. Saudi Arabia now owns stakes in everything from Silicon Valley tech firms and luxury resorts to professional sports leagues and Hollywood studios. The result: a kingdom no longer defined solely by oil, but by money, influence, and power on a global scale. MBS isn't just reshaping the kingdom's economy, he's reinventing its identity. At the heart of his ambitious Vision 2030 is a plan to transform Saudi Arabia from an oil-dependent state into a diversified powerhouse of technology, tourism, and innovation. His crown jewel? Neom, a $500 billion smart city rising from the sands along the Red Sea. Neom isn't just a city, it's a symbol, a futuristic metropolis with flying taxis, AI-run infrastructure, and climate-controlled neighborhoods, all meant to position Saudi Arabia as a leader in the post-oil world. To the world, it looks like progress. To investors, it's opportunity. And to Saudi youth, over 50% of the population, it's hope. But behind the digital billboards and polished promotional videos lies a critical question. Can such mega-projects truly succeed in a system that remains tightly centralized and deeply conservative? While MBS pushes for modernization, critics warn that without political reform or true social freedom, these cities may become symbols of excess rather than engines of change. Still, the ambition is undeniable. Neom is more than concrete and steel. It's a statement, a vision of tomorrow, funded by oil wealth, powered by innovation, and stamped with MBS's personal signature. Yet beneath the shimmering skyline and billion-dollar ambitions lies a side of Saudi Arabia the government rarely advertises, its human rights record. While the world applauds futuristic projects and social reforms, inside the kingdom, personal freedoms remain tightly restricted. Saudi Arabia is one of the last countries on earth where public executions are still carried out, often in Riyadh's infamous Chop Chop Square. In 2024 alone, reports showed a sharp rise in executions, many for crimes that elsewhere might carry lesser penalties. Peaceful dissent is dangerous. Speaking out online, criticizing government policy, or even supporting human rights activists can lead to harsh prison sentences, or worse. High-profile cases like Salma al-Shehab, a student sentenced for tweets, and Raif Badawi, jailed for advocating free speech, have drawn international outrage. Yet the legal system offers few protections. Religious freedom also has clear limits. Non-Islamic worship is tightly regulated, and public displays are largely prohibited. For all the talk of openness, a climate of fear still lingers beneath the surface. So, while Saudi Arabia's skyline rises, so do questions about justice, transparency, and the true cost of control. And nowhere is that cost more visible, yet more ignored, than in the lives of migrant workers, the silent workforce building Saudi Arabia's futuristic dreams. At the core of this system is kafala, a sponsorship arrangement that gives employers near-total control over foreign laborers, most of whom come from South Asia and Southeast Asia. These workers arrive with hope, but many end up trapped in conditions that resemble modern-day servitude. They often work 84-hour weeks in extreme heat, live in overcrowded dormitories, are routinely denied basic health care. Many have passports confiscated and wages withheld. No guaranteed minimum wage, while Saudi citizens earn at least 4,000 riyals shink month, 1,060. Migrant workers often receive far less with no legal recourse. Over 21,000 workers have reportedly died on megaproject construction sites in the last decade. These are the hands that build the Golden Towers, but rarely share in their glow. While Saudi Arabia projects an image of innovation and prosperity, it is powered by a labor system that many say belongs to a darker past. But perhaps the most shocking shift in Saudi Arabia came in 2017, when MBS turned the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Riyadh into a high-security detention center. Over 300 royals, ministers, and billionaires were arrested overnight under the banner of anti-corruption. Among them was Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, one of the richest men in the Arab world. While some praised the move as reform, others saw it as a power grab. Behind closed doors, billions in assets were seized, and powerful figures were sidelined. It was a bold message. In MBS's Saudi Arabia, no one is untouchable. At the same time, his personal wealth ballooned. French palaces, mega yachts, Da Vinci paintings, and a $500 million private jet. It's not just wealth, it's strategy, control, image, but at what cost? So, what do you think? Is this true reform, or just a grand illusion? Which detail about MBS's billionaire life surprised you the most? Leave a comment below, and don't forget to hit the bell icon for more deep dives into the world's most powerful empires. Thanks for watching.